Ready?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right.
How are you?
Hi, welcome back to Anybody Who Ain't Anybody. And today we're sitting here with
Jared DiCroce.
Jared. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Tim.
And what brings you here today?
Well, we're here promoting our new movie, The Italy Boys, which is going to be filming in Detroit. We've got a couple of big guys from The Sopranos, myself included. We got Vinny Vella, Sarah Ward, and we've all been working and trying to get this movie off the ground.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And Vinny said that he read 50 scripts in the last year. 3 of them he liked.
Yep.
This is one of them.
This was actually his second pick. And the first one was from a great friend of his, so we're thinking it might be a little bit of a persuaded opinion, but we're not going to say too much about that.
Well, you know, if you say yes, that's good.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
You have a reason to say yes, because there's a million reasons to say no.
But only one reason to say yes, and that's because it's a good script. Frankie did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a chance to speak with Frankie?
Well, I know Frankie. I do stand-up.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I worked with him recently in a club, and he goes, and then I interviewed him after the show.
Oh, great.
And he says, come on down. And I says, how about bringing a camera? And he goes, yes.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's what I'm doing. Just kind of making this up as I'm going along. And
well, hopefully we'll give his fans something to watch and something to be entertained by. That's the idea.
That's the idea. The idea is a show. Now, some people may have heard of you. You know, to be honest, I didn't know.
That's okay.
You know?
I don't know me either. I just met me the other day. I thought I was a nice guy, but you know.
This just keeps on happening. This just keeps falling out of my little thing. So.
I don't know. You know, we're going to get you a little big time. We'll get you some new microphones, a whole new setup. Wait for the movie to come along.
That'd be nice. So Vinny taught me how to hold it, so.
Vinny knows. So how long have you been doing the show? How's the fan base growing?
I have been doing this show. This is probably my 10th show.
That's fantastic.
And actually, I kind of got lucky, in a sense. My first show, it was a cable access thing.
Okay.
And the program director brought in his girlfriend to help.
Right.
And so she's working behind the camera. I got a couple comics on. After the show, she says, I want to apologize to you. And I says, for what? And she said, I've been in this business a long time. I'm very professional. And I shouldn't have been laughing, but I laughed through the whole thing. Well, I'm going to try to find it in my heart to forgive you. Right? And I find out she's the program director for Comcast Cable.
Oh, really?
So it was already going out to Comcast before I had any idea.
And that's the idea. I mean, I know none of you guys out home know who the hell I am, but you give it a little bit of time and you'll start seeing me show up. I mean, as a matter of fact, in New York, I just got myself a brand new manager, and she works with, 15 to 20 agents. She's a very big name.
Oh, beautiful.
And we're moving along, So outside of Sopranos and outside of Hitler, Stalin, Walter O'Malley, and all these films that I'm making, you're gonna really start seeing some things blossom. So hopefully I'll be one of those guys for you.
Yeah.
Vinny too, did he tell you about his new shows coming up?
Oh yeah, the reality show.
Oh, he's a character, I love him.
Oh, it was amazing. When he was, and some of his questions, I can't use them because he's gonna use them in his, right? But they were brilliant questions,
Well, did he tell you he might recreate some of this for the skit himself?
No.
He might end up doing. He'll come approach you, and then you get paid. That's no problem, right?
No, I don't have a problem with that. Interviewing homeless people.
Is that right?
He said he interviewed homeless people.
He didn't tell me all about it. He told me he dealt with some Hasidic Jews and really embarrassed them, and I thought that was funny.
That was great. Yeah.
And then he went into a butcher shop to a guy he sees all the time and really ruffled his feathers up, and a bunch of people he knew in the industry before they were anybody, kind of like what you're doing.
Okay.
But like he knew Cindy Crawford, and he went out on a ranch with Cindy Crawford, and she couldn't get on the horse. Did he tell you this story?
No.
So Cindy Crawford's having some trouble getting on the horse, and he's trying to help her with one leg, trying to help her with the other leg. She won't go up. So eventually he goes, F it. He puts his hands up on her ass and just pushes up on her butt cheeks, and they got a picture. So he's got a picture of Cindy Crawford before she made it big with his hands on both cheeks. I told him I'd buy a copy. He wouldn't give me one. I don't know why.
Yeah. Now, what got you on stage for the first time?
Wow. It's a weird story. As a kid, I always swore that I would never get on stage. It was for fairies or all of that. And what did it was a science project, if you believe it. I always thought that I was going to be scared, that I didn't want to do it. And those were my reasons for calling it for fairies. But I had to do a science project where I was the only guy that knew what the hell he was talking about. And here I am in front of the class dictating the project. My other two partners are sitting there. Their mouths are shut. They don't know what's going on. And I said something that wasn't even remotely funny to me. but the whole class cracked up.
Ooh.
And it all of a sudden was like, I've got my hand open and they're just pecking out of it. It was a magical moment.
And you want more.
Oh, and I needed it.
Yeah.
It becomes a drug after that.
That's exactly, that phrase has come up in interviews, every other one. It's a drug. I'm hooked. You know, I don't even have a choice anymore.
And you know, that's it, is that it's nice to make money, but that's not the number one thing. The number one thing is to go out and entertain. And in entertaining, you enjoy your life. You know, and that's what I love about this industry. And what you're hinting on is you're playing somebody outside of yourself. And a lot of people don't realize this about acting, but it is a spiritual journey. As you fill other people's shoes, you start learning what the experience of these other people are. And before you know it, you realize what the human condition is. And that's an amazing thing. You almost become omnipresent in a sense, you know, not to be too spiritual for the people at home, but you know what I mean?
Me, you know.
Is you're branching out and you're starting to see things from other perspective, and all of a sudden it's not just a collection of stereotypes. You really understand what a homeless man's going through. Or you know, a black man in an all-white school. You start to understand, and all of a sudden we're all just human. And it's an amazing thing.
In a play, I played a schizophrenic homeless guy, and it was my favorite role.
Yeah.
I was told that I went from childlike to menacing. And like, wow. You know? Thank you.
It's like when you play a villain and everybody boos you. I love that. I love that.
And I actually followed the only woman in the play off stage to go do something, and some of the people were afraid for her. Wow.
That is a compliment.
Nice. So thank you. You know, I just did a play. I did my first musical. Suzical.
Congratulations.
The musical, you know.
Suzical the musical?
Suzical the musical.
I heard of it. I've never been in it.
And I was the mayor of Whoville.
Oh, excellent. I have heard of it. Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And one of the writers of it was, and I put it into a stage play, was Eric Idle.
Oh.
Yeah, from Monty Python. So very funny. You know, took a bunch of books and put it together and made it into. So I get out there, and there's 60 people in the cast, and 50 of them are kids.
Right.
And I'm good with kids. Right.
Love kids.
And so we're sitting. There's like 50 people on stage, and they say, and there's risers, and a lot of the kids. And I wanted the principal role, so I'm standing in front. And I turn around, and they say, take 5, but don't leave your spots.
Right.
I turn around. There's this little girl, 11 years old. And I said, hi, what's your name? And she was Hannah. I said, what are you going to be when you grow up? And she said, well, I'm going to be a singer and a dancer. And I go, really? I said, what have you done? And she goes, well, for the last 3 years, I've danced with the Moscow Ballet and Nutcracker at the Fisher Theater in Detroit. And I just got a call back for Annie on Broadway. I'm going back there in November. And I'm thinking, you know, I just pulled out a stand-up so I could do community theater. You know, so, but it was and these kids, half a dozen of them, I will interview on this show.
Right.
You know, so, but I want to thank you for spending some time with me.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
And it's my pleasure.
Now, when can we look to see this wonderful program?
You know, at this moment, I don't really have an idea.
Okay.
But what I'll do is make sure on your release, your mailing
I'll give you my
address.
numbers.
My mailing address.
Absolutely.
And I'll send you a DVD of the show.
Fantastic. All right. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you very much. And we'll be right back. Stay tuned.